Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome to another vlog for my visual art class. Today we're talking about gender and sexuality. And I talked about this before, and we're actually using a text that I did an in-depth vlog about with the masculinity and skateboarding. But this time we're talking more generally about gender and sex within visual culture. And of course, the distinction being sex is your biological um, state of being, I guess you could say, XY chromosomes or XX sort of thing. It gets a little more complicated depending on mutations. And then gender is sort of a societal construct, um, more of something to do with the brain, really, than anything else. And then how you feel, really, how you identify. And then that's the next, I guess, step in the conversation is self-identification and societal identification. And of course, the societal identification is coming largely from visual culture, and sort of the stereotypes we put, male and female in. And then now, in the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years, really, it seems like that this whole like trans sort of movement has become a lot larger. And so it does beg the question, how they will fit in visual culture, and how visual culture will now change and adapt to tell the stories of these people. And I think that's sort of the important part, because gender is a very old societal construct, very old. I mean, you go back to basically any myth from any primary culture, whether it was the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Indians, Chinese, Mesopotamians. They've all had strict genders, one or the other. Um, and so throughout time, throughout our history, we have these preconceived constructs. And I think now we're seeing a change. And it's an opportunity to tell new stories, opportunity to give new idols for people. I think that's sort of the next step. I mean, as far as in general, because this conversation can be broken down to like the two binary genders we know of, like how should men and masculinity be portrayed. And like I said, I talked about that. And then you have females and femininity, and how they should be portrayed. And then now we have sort of this non-binary middle, and we have to start asking ourselves how they'll be portrayed. How do we want them to be portrayed? Who's going to have the power to sort of portray them? Artists and large corporations. So, this vlog isn't really about solving a question. There wasn't really one posed, but it is more of my own, I guess, thoughts on how I think it'll move forward. I think in the future we will see, for sure, we will see sort of a blending of all these three different gender possibilities, I guess, where you will see masculinity matched with females. And I think Captain Marvel, a recent movie that just came out, and of course Black Panther, where we talked about before, you have warrior females, right? That's a masculine trait, or what we assume is masculine, and we're putting it in the female context, and that's cool. It's been really cool to see that. You will see femininity tacked on to male members. I don't know if I can give a good example off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of any movies I've seen recently that sort of had that, but none come to mind. I feel like a lot of rom-coms play with that. There's a lot of stay-at-home mom sort of or stay-at-home dad sort of situations and things like that, or very sensitive men. But anyways, you'll see a lot of that going on, and then now we're gonna. I guarantee you, we'll probably see trans members where it won't be clear. It'll probably be they them sort of pronouns used, and we'll see them take on both male or feminine or masculine ways of life or expressions of life. And I think that'll be cool. I think that's best for children who don't feel like they are represented well, you know. And I think that's a good step forward. Um, yeah, I don't know really what else to say. That's kind of it. I'm gonna post down some pictures of like Captain Marvel and sort of this swapping we've seen. I'll probably post some things about the myths, and yeah, no. Have a good night.